Hello everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. I thought I'd just turn on the camera. I feel like playing with my watercolor book here. I haven't done anything in this watercolor book journal that we made out of scraps. And we challenged ourselves with some long shapes. So I thought I would make myself a bookmark today. So let's... Now I'm going to have to work this way so you guys can see what's happening. Make sure I'm in frame here. So this is just pretty cheapy watercolor paper. Nothing expensive or fantastic. And it's just pieces that I sewed together and threw in this book. And the idea is to use up these scraps in any way, really. And I will link the... video of how I made one of these journals. So if you find yourself with a bunch of scrap watercolor paper, these books are really handy. I have a big square one, and I have this long, narrow one. So it's nice to kind of challenge yourself with different shaped papers, different sizes and different lengths, and kind of challenge yourself with the composition to fit nicely within that size. So I'm just using masking tape, which I will probably regret later, but it's all I have handy. And I'm just taping it down, and I'm going to slap some watercolor on. So I think I'm going to do one of these doodly type watercolor and drawings I've done before, which I will link a couple of videos below if you like. Use a bit smaller. I'm a bit crammed here on my desk because I haven't cleaned it. I will though. We'll get to it eventually. Here we go. So I'm going to use a number 8 round, and I have my Michele paints that I like to use. And of course, I do kind of gravitate to almost a predetermined color palette in my head, which are usually browns and blues. And today I think I'm going to do some browns and greens. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm thinking this might be a bookmark since I've lost my last bookmark and I need one. And it's the perfect kind of length for that sort of thing. However, it is pretty long for the book I'm reading, but that's okay. Just get to play and doodle some more. So I'm going to go into these greens and browns. I'm not going to list all the colors because you're going to pick the colors you like that kind of appeal to you. And what you want to make. So it's like a forest green type green and I'm going to say maybe a burnt sienna. But just pick what you like. You can, if you like metallics, go for the metallics. What else do I want to add to this? I think I'm going to go with a bit more of a greeny blue. Something with a little pizzazz. And remember, your watercolors will dry much lighter than they appear right now. Since it's spring, we'll go with this kind of cool, fresh green and just splattering, see what happens. So some paint is wet, so they'll be diluted, and some of the paint, the paper is dry, so it will not dilute. Kind of mix these colors in a bit, see what we get. I like to paint all around the outer edge of my watercolor paper so that when I pull off the tape, there's a nice border. So I kind of get a nice army green when I mix these two together. A little splatter of that. And then let's go in with a bit sharper, a little bit more pigment on that nice army soft, what would I call this green? Probably an olivey green. But pick the colors you like. You like blues, you like yellow, maybe let's drop a little bit of yellow in there. Just for fun. Maybe mix it a little bit with the brown. See what we get. So I roll my brush, I'll scrape my brush. I use a little bit of water, not a lot of water. Just experiment and have fun. I have shown, I think that's a hairbrush there. I have shown a video on how I do these sorts of doodles. If you want to check those out. But today is just a relaxing, experimental watercolor kind of day. I like this turquoise. It's actually quite beautiful. And I drop it in to like puddles of water and see what effect you get. It's kind of fun when it dries. You get these really unexpected results, which are fun. Let's try it with the brown. So have fun with your watercolor experiment. That's what's great about these tiny little books of scraps. So we're going to let that dry, and then we will peel the paper off. Okay, so it's pretty dry now, I think. So we will delicately try and lift this masking tape off. And this stuff's kind of fun to keep for junk journaling as well. If you have a place to keep it, kind of reuse it over and over again. And it gets really grungy, so it's kind of fun to add. But in my case, this time, because I have too much of it, I'm gonna toss it out. All right, so there's our little background. So now we get to play. So what I think I'm gonna do, because I know I'm going to use this in my reading, I'm going to cut it out of this book. So I don't want to cut right to the base, because then all the thread and other pages will come out. I'm just gonna go ahead and snip that. Okay, we'll get rid of that book, and what I'll do is I'll put a clean piece behind, so this messy background isn't quite so distracting for you. And now we can decorate. So it is grungy. It's, you know, you can really take your time and do something professional. But I want to just have fun playing with watercolor. Sorry, I'm drinking tea too. I'm not feeling too hot. And some doodling. So I have a cluster of old pens here. I'm hoping they work. 0.3. These are microns, and they are waterproof. So if you were to reactivate with the paint again, that one's dry, then they don't bleed. So these are kind of a way to see if I have any microns working. I throw them in this bin here when I'm not sure if they're any good anymore or not. And then I just kind of go through them and toss them out if I can't get them activated. This one is definitely on its way out, but we'll steal as much out of it as we possibly can. I'm just using this random dye ink thing I have on my desk because it's round and I want to play with some circles today. Usually I'm not a big circle lover, but sometimes I just kind of get in the mood to play with organic shapes like this. So I'm going to see if there's another pen, and we'll just keep going through these. So that's a thick pen. We'll wait for that. Just kind of randomly go through my pens here. So this is a 02 micron. So let's see if this guy works. So I'm just going to double up, and I'm basically just going to doodle. We'll see what we get. I love this kind of relaxing art form. One, you never know where it's going to take you. Two, it kind of makes you think outside the box a little. Kind of forces you to be a little bit more creative in the sense of what patterns you want to use, how you come up with these patterns, how you fill in this space. So this pen's a bit rough too. Sometimes a rough pen can give you some really cool results as well. Having a pen that doesn't work quite well can really be interesting in leaving behind some interesting textures. I'm just going to have fun outlining some of the watercolor lines and bleeds here. Just have fun with it. And of course, you're going to have your own pattern based on how you painted your paper. Just keep it loose and no pressure, you know, no pressure to design something fantastic. Just have fun, let loose, try some experimentation, try some different pens. So again, these are really old pens. Let's see what else I've got in here. I'd get rid of these rulers. Let's try this guy. Is he working? Yeah, he works. So he's a bit thicker. Let's color him in. Now again, this is a different pen, so this will not probably be waterproof. So if I decide to add more watercolor to my drawing, it will probably bleed, but it could be a cool effect. Maybe we'll play with that as well. What bleeds, what doesn't bleed, and how it bleeds. So I'm just gonna emphasize these circles. Of course, you can fast forward anything you don't really want to watch. I think this is kind of along the lines of a Zen dangle type drawing, but more freeform because of the watercolor behind it. You really want to kind of pop that watercolor. So I think I'll go here. So this nice dark ink is a nice contrast to those light colors behind it. Now, if you've got really nice handwriting, you could draw lines and write a message on this. I unfortunately do not have nice handwriting, so I don't often use my handwriting. But you can write like a personal message on this or an inspirational quote. This is going to be used for my bookmark. I just wanted something fun. Nothing too serious. And it's therapeutic. You know, if you're stressed, something's on your mind, this is a great way to relax. Take your mind off something that bothers you or something that you can't stop thinking about. I really enjoy doing this for that reason alone. Just taking my mind off things, having a nice tea, and doodling away. Again, no pressure here. Don't think you have to make a masterpiece. Just have fun. So I think I want to try and maybe connect these circles. First, I want to do another circle. Something here. So I'm going to do around the water line there. And then I'm going to break this circle up. Use different mediums as well, like maybe you have ink and you can spray your ink. Maybe you don't have watercolor, so you can use watered down acrylics. There's no wrong or right. Use whatever materials you have. Maybe you don't have any paints at all, so use coffee and tea. Blueberry stains, whatever you've got. Coffee and blueberry, that could be a really beautiful combination. All right, just gonna maybe draw around some of these watermarks as well. I really like playing with the watermarks. Kind of emphasize some of that white paper back out. So now maybe we'll connect this and do something visual going up so we can connect it with more circles if we want. But I think I'm going to work vertical let's see. I don't know where I'm going with this, so it's one of those videos where it's either going to work or not work. Let's do some straight up and down lines here. Again, just playing with that watercolor so that color ends, so I didn't draw the lines down. We'll see if we like that later or not. Not worried about the lines being perfectly straight. If I was, I'd use a ruler. Maybe pick up that texture down over here a little bit. And move it up, so visually it moves up. So we'll put some maybe over here. And then maybe some inside this circle. Hopefully I'm in camera frame. Sometimes I get right into the drawing. I forget I'm filming. Okay. So let's maybe break some more. Let's make it a little bit more organic. So we'll draw our own kind of rhythm here. Coming up and then through, stopping, going through, coming out, going down, and then maybe through this circle. I'm going to thicken that line up just so it shows up a bit. But maybe I'll do like a thick spot and another thick spot. So it's not a consistent size line. It's kind of like a river. It's wider in some spots, thinner in others. Go really wide there. Bring it out here. Really wide up here. Kind of fun, I like that. Let's play with it again. Let's move another line through it. So when you're drawing these, sometimes you're conscious of the background and using it as part of the design. And in this line case, I'm just having fun moving lines through the background without concerning myself with the shape and color of the background. Just creating movement through the paper here. A visual movement draws your eye all the way from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom. Fluff. Go right out on this one. Maybe this one breaks through a different way. So it doesn't come out through here, but maybe it loops around. And just keep playing with design. Things that appeal to you. Things that are pleasing to look at. Maybe like polka dots. Maybe like squares, blocks. Okay, and then I look at an overall image of it and balance-wise where I feel something's missing or where I can add something. So I feel like I can put something in here. I feel like I can add something in these circles now. So maybe we'll go with we went vertical this way, so we'll go technically horizontal, but I'm going to rotate it so it's a bit easier on my fingers here. So I'm just going to pull some lines going this way. I'll break through the white and then into the background here. fill that space. See how we feel about that. Maybe a little bit in this circle. And then maybe break it through here and into this space between the river lines. Okay, that's kind of fun. I think we need a little bit up here as well. Put some in here. Kind of want to find a rhythm, you know, to the designs and the textures that you are including. You want it to be harmonious and intriguing at the same time. I really like this play here. I think I want to make that a little bit more dramatic. So I'm going to build a line coming off here, and maybe I'll break it right there so it doesn't go through those lines. But I really like this design element here. And then do I want to bring it back in here? Do I want to introduce it through here? Let me put one more going this way. I think this one I'm going to bring over here. Fill that whole corner. This one I'm going to bring over these two and bring through the circle this time, right through it. So I'm going to ignore this line. That's kind of fun. Bring it up through here. And then maybe this time we'll bring it through the white and through the green. Just make it a little bit more standout-ish. There we go. Just keep on breaking the rules. So I think we could go with something that's got a little bit more contrast to it. So maybe we'll go inside the circle now and start with some dots. I'm a sucker for polka dots. And since we're dealing with very organic looking shapes, we might as well continue with it by adding these circles. So for this one, I'm going to make them pretty much the same size. And as you can see, none of them are perfect. Striving for perfection and striving for intrigue and balance, harmony, all those things we like in our life. That's kind of fun. Let's repeat that texture down here. Now I find the white is getting a little left out, so we might do something with that after, but I'm going to introduce those dots into this white space for a real high contrast. So these will probably stand out more than those ones. It's kind of fun, and maybe in here, so we'll bring them up to the circle. Just kind of let the pattern speak to you. Remember, if you do something and you don't like it, you can change it. It's not permanent. It's an experimentation, a little creative journey, if you will. It's kind of fun. like that. I think I'm going to color these ones in. See what that does. So this might take a minute. You can always fast forward, of course. Or maybe you're doodling along with me. That'd be great. Let me know. I don't always get back to the comments, and I do apologize for that. It's not that I'm not reading them. I do read them and appreciate them. I just don't always have the time to respond. I try my best, but lately I've been kind of lacking on that. It's been a very busy couple of weeks, and I haven't had the time to comment back or acknowledge all the kind words you guys are leaving me, and I do really appreciate them. I truly do. They're very inspiring to keep the channel going, and I love to share ideas and create things with people, so it's nice to hear you guys are enjoying the channel and enjoying the content. So if I haven't responded, please don't take it personal. I have read your comment, and I am truly appreciative. Okay, I really like those dots. I think I'd like to repeat them somewhere else. Where do I want to put them? Well, maybe we'll do a connection through here. Change our mind on that one. And then I'm going to fill this space. See how you can change it? So if there's something you don't like, you can change it. That's why this process is very relaxing, I think anyways. So now I'm going to color these guys in and introduce this texture. Even though these are both circles, they give off a different texture because one's not filled in and one is, plus one is on the colored background and the other is got a high contrast on the white background. So you can get several different looks using the same technique. Look in nature too for patterns and textures, you know. This kind of remind me of like a seed pod. So when you're walking around, snap pictures of textured bark or mushrooms or algae or whatever it is you're close to, and let those patterns inspire you. Nature's fantastic for that. I think I'm going to put them right in here too. Maybe we'll grab a white pen. See if any of my white pens still work. I do a lot of doodling, so I get through a lot of pens. So this is just a ballpoint pen I'm using. So be mindful of the materials you do pick. So if I wanted to add more watercolor on here, it will bleed, which could be an effect you're looking for, but maybe you're not, so you want to be careful of what tools you're picking. So I'm going to try and make these a little bigger, same size. All right, that's kind of fun. I like it. Maybe put a dot inside these ones. They look a little hollow to me, a little unfinished. Now they look like tentacles, octopus tentacles. And what I love about these doodles is how the watercolor really does shine through and soften the whole effect. So you can add like gold pen to this now, or metallic markers or whatever it is you have, and really pop a few elements. Just have fun. I keep saying that, but it's true. People get stressed about perfection. And what is perfection really? When you think about it, what's perfect to you might not be perfect to someone else. Okay, let's see how I feel about that. Let's try some white now. So my Posca pen here. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just give it a shake off camera. Try and wake it back up. Okay, we're back in business. What would I like? Maybe just some small dots here in a few spaces. I still feel like this white is a little too strong. So whether I want to introduce more white and balance it or subdue the white. And I haven't decided. So right now I'm just, gonna put some dots on here. Let's see how I feel. That one bled a little bit. Let's see if I can absorb it with a scrap. What have I got that's absorbent on my desk? A little bit of material here. Let's try this. See if I can't get that absorbed. So, no, that's not absorbent. I don't have any paper towel or anything. Here's some cotton. Maybe cotton will work. Just, you know what? Let's just flatten it right out. Okay. So maybe some in here. Not tons, but something. I feel like I want to get rid of some of this white. So what do I want to do? Maybe just scribble it out. Maybe we'll just fill it right in. Take my pen, I'm going to scribble it right out. Decide which part I want to get rid of. Sorry, is my camera shaking? Pushing pretty hard. And you can keep going or call it quits whenever you want, when you're content with it, or walk away from it and come back later and doodle on it. Maybe 5 months from now you want to add more to it. Your mood has changed and you think, I don't like polka dots anymore. Maybe I like cubes. And play with some squares. Yeah, I like these contrast pockets, but I don't like this shape right here, so I'm going to change that. These nice, hard, dark contrasts are nice. I'm liking them anyways. So let's put one right in here. I think I'm going to subdue part of this, but not all of it. We'll see. I can change my mind. Doodle it in and then think, no, I want to use all of it. Now you can use a felt tip marker here. That would be much faster to fill it in, but I want that scribbly look. I want it looking like I filled it in with scribbles. It does dent and leave a mark on the paper, which you wouldn't get with a felt. So that's something to consider too, if you have the time to scribble something in or not. I'm going to bring this right up into this. I'm going to get rid of those. And fill this in. Trying to lift my hand up so my camera doesn't shake, that I don't have as much control on the pen. All right. Kind of got these blobs of black. I think I'd like to bring something coming up here in black. So I'm going to add something. I just want that visual to move up. Hopefully I'm in frame here. Okay, so I've got it going through here and then maybe through here. I'm just going to add it to these lines. And then we'll have a look and see what we're missing. See if it's balanced. Okay, I'm going to put some white circles in here. Just kind of do the reverse of these ones. Okay, like that. And there's another patch over here. I like the contrast there. I think that's it. I quite like it. Maybe bring a contrasting line around the edge. Just try not to touch that wet white marker. Around the corners here. I don't want to do the whole line, but just the corners would be nice, maybe. Kind of define that edge. Maybe I like a little bit more dots. Get it a little busier. This is fun. Have fun. Share it on Instagram with me. My Instagram is listed in the description below. And let me know. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Some really fun, unique colors and looks. See how they all different from each other. Maybe I can figure out how to do a hashtag. One day I'll get much better at technology. It's just one of those things I don't show interest in. I mean, it's a necessity these days, but I'm just not interested. Isn't that awful? Because I'm sure I'd be much happier if I knew how to work these things and could share things much easier. I still only know how to work one camera angle at this point. So you can imagine if I could set up some cameras, and I'd get a much more interesting video, that's for sure. But we do our best with what we have. I feel like this area needs more dots. More dots. It's not a lot of contrast in this soft green. Maybe some white lines through this. See, you can just keep going. I thought I was done. Here I am, still doodling. But it's just so much fun. You know, when do you stop? That's one of the biggest challenges, is knowing when enough is enough. All right, Oh, and here's some more dots I missed. So there we go. And of course, sign it. I'm gonna make this the bottom, I think. And then stick it in your book for a bookmark. Let's see, it's twice the size of my book that I'm reading. I keep dog-earing everything. But there we go. Now I have a bookmark. A massive bookmark for my book. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed that long video. I hope it gave you some inspiration. I hope you have fun doodling away. All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye.